Welcome back to another training session for OpenDSS-G. In this case, I want to introduce you to a new tool which is very didactical and oriented for teaching, which is the Bus Xplorer. Right now on the screen we have circuit 24 from EPRI, a circuit probably you're familiar with, and with this one I want to introduce the Bus Explorer. So for that I'm going to go into the simulator, and in the analysis tools you'll find the Bus Matrix Explorer. So just click in there and you'll see a little matrix, like sparse matrix. Well, of course, next to the other analysis tools called the Bus Explorer. You can reach this through the graphical or the text menu. Once you get there, you're going to find to the left of the window that is opening the description of the Bus matrix. So there, all the little fields floating in that three-dimensional space that are not black are basically the non-zero elements. And to the left, we have the Bus matrix itself. At the bottom, we have all the different controls where we can select elements that are within the model. So we can select loads, lines, transformers, and those will be highlighted in the three-dimensional space, letting us know where it is located or its approximate location within the space. So for example, we just picked a load and we can see that little green dot there is telling us where it's located within the matrix. So we can just zoom in by keeping the shift key pressed and moving the mouse. And we can scroll up and down by pressing the control key. So with that, we know where is the approximate location of the load in a three-dimensional graph. But if we want to get there in terms of the location, the exact location of the Bus matrix, I can just click the button that says show element in Bus matrix, and it will take me to the coordinates of the element. We can see at the bottom also is telling us all the elements connected to the same bus, or the bus where the load is connected, and the coordinates of the element. Also, we can see the Y primitive for the load. So there we can see all, as I mentioned before, all the different elements connected to that bus, and also we can see the coordinates. We can also export that data in case we want to process that data separately with a different programming language, a different tool. So now let's try with something different. We're going to try with the line. We have this line is telling me the elements that are connected the two buses where the line is connected. So every time I select a new element, it's gonna show me the location of the element in the three-dimensional graph. So we can see it there highlighted in green. Of course, it's at a different level, but also we can get closer, just change the way the three-dimensional graph is displayed, but just by rotating it, and that will give us the graphical location of it. So with that, we also can locate the line within the Bus matrix, again, using the commands that we have to the bottom right. And well, it's just a matter of exploring what we have in the Bus matrix. The aim with this tool is to illustrate the way the Bus matrix is built and how the solution process within OpenDSS takes place. So we can see the Y primitive. We can see that this line is a single phase line. It gives us the coordinates. We can export the files, and then OpenDSS-G is going to ask if we want to open it or we want to just leave it as it is. So in this case, I just exported the list of all the nodes within the Bus matrix. We can keep selecting the elements. Like for example, in this case, we have a substation transformer. So we can go back and we will see where that one is connected. We can see the Y primitive. We can see the coordinates. We can copy it into the clipboard, so we can bring the notepad here. And if we paste, we will have the matrix represented as a lower triangular matrix using complex conjugate elements. We can also export the Y primitive, open it. It will open here, as we can see. We're using Excel, and there you go. So that will give us all the information that we want in case we want to explain step by step how the why the Y bus matrix is built and the primitives involved in it. It's a very didactical tool. Um, the idea is to show all the secrets behind the simulation. Well, secrets, it's an open source software, so there is no secret at all, but still trying to display how things are built. Like, for example, this line that we're selecting here, we can see that it has elements in very far coordinates, probably because of the way it is connected and its distribution within the the Y bus matrix. We can navigate, follow the coordinates, and we're going to find all the different parts of it distributed across the Y bus matrix. So we can just go around and we're gonna see and locate all the different elements of the Y primitive. Again, the aim is to illustrate the way the system the system model is built, what are the numerical variables that are involved, and what are the numbers running below the simulation in order to better show what is behind OpenDSS instead of just going into the source code, which is probably hard to follow for some not experienced programmers. But in this case, well, it's a very nice tool that I'm pretty sure many people will appreciate. So enjoy.